Hi all, today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way of dealing with drawers in antique and vintage furniture that aren't pulling as nicely as we would like them to. I think we all know that older furniture, pre-70s or whatnot, they don't have those nice metal tracks that make things glide in and out. So when we get the furniture that we're working on, it's a rare day when they pull out effortlessly and nice and we go, ooh, that was good. Usually it's a little bit of a battle. And sometimes there's a structural issue with the drawer, with the body of the dresser. Sometimes it's just been in a really damp place for a long time and the wood has swollen up and just needs to chill out for about a week and go back down. But I found that the number one culprit is your wood's just dry. So with the old dressers, it's pretty much wood on top, rubbing on top of wood, like that. And wood is porous. So when it dries out, the pores get bigger and rougher and it starts acting like Velcro. And instead of smoothing, like sliding smoothly, that's how the English language works, sliding smoothly against each other and giving us a nice pull, starts acting like Velcro and it'll get stuck on itself. So the solution is to fill in those pores. A lot of times people use wax, soap, like you'll Google it online and inevitably someone says, rub a soap bar on it, rub a candlestick. And that does work. It will fill in your pores of your wood, but it doesn't fix the problem. It's a band-aid and you cover it up. And the more you pull on the drawers, the more your soap or your wax will wear down. In some places and not others. And eventually it'll stop sliding nice. So you put more on and it slides nice and then it stops and you put more on, but it doesn't all wear away. So eventually you have these big globs of soap and wax in certain places and not in others, and that actually makes it harder to pull your drawers in the end. So it seems like a good idea, doesn't work out in the end. However, if you use an oil, like a linseed, hemp oil is good, something like that, it will nourish your wood, it will rehydrate it, it will fill in those pockets that are acting like Velcro. And eventually you do have to, eventually it'll dry out again and you do have to reapply, but it literally dries out. So it disappears into the ether, into nothing. There's no buildup. I've used it on stuff in my house 5 years ago and it's still pulling fine. So, I mean, eventually I'm gonna have to do a quick wipe again, but I'm not gonna have to strip my drawers. And also they make furniture salves work too. They make those that are scented, which is always nice. I generally don't use those on pieces that I'm selling because I feel like scent is such a personal thing. Like I don't want someone to be like, oh my god, I love that dresser, and open it up and go, oh my god, orange, I hate the smell of orange, I can't take this. So I use a neutral oil, but you can definitely use one of those furniture salves that are scented if you would like. So my weapon of choice is boiled linseed oil. My label's messed up, so I can't really show you. Any brand will do. It's not like a proprietary mix or anything like that, so they're all the same. Yeah, whatever. It comes in just linseed oil, and then there's boiled linseed oil, which is linseed oil that has been thinned out with mineral spirits or something else so it dries faster. Both will work, but the boiled is good because it dries real quick. Sometimes linseed oil can take a couple of days to fully set up and dry, which who has time for that? So I like my boiled. So this is the dresser I'm going to be showing you. I'm just going to show you one drawer. It's really the most simple thing, but you know, it's always nice to see. So if you listen when I pull it out, you can hear it. Like you can't tell how hard I'm pulling, how much I'm concentrating on pulling it exactly the same on each arm. I am, because these drawers are not the best right now, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to hear the squeak when I open it, which is a good indication that this thing needs to be moisturized. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to wipe our oil of choice on all the bits that are going to be touching each other. So on this bottom, I'm going to get here. I'm going to get up in here because there's a bit of wood in the carcass that slides in here that helps keep it straight. I'm going to get on the other side, and in here I'm going to get the two ends, and you can usually see when you look inside where your drawer has been rubbing it. There'll be like a streak, like a skid mark. So we want to get there, and we want to get in the middle. I'm not going to bother getting all this. This isn't going to touch anything. There's no point. It's just a waste of supply, waste of time, unless your dresser is stinky and you're using one of those nice scented oils, in which case, have at everything. So linseed oil is it's an all natural thing, but I don't like getting gunk on my hands, so I put on a glove that I've reused many times from painting. You can see, best to reuse plastic. And then I just use a lint-free cloth rag. You can use a steel wool, but you don't really need the abrasiveness of the steel wool. All we're doing is we're rehydrating. Sometimes a dresser has shifted and you do need to sand and stuff like that, but I would suggest always try doing this before you mess with anything else, because when you start sanding, you're going to make those pockets bigger and you could go backwards. So always do this. It takes 2 seconds. If this doesn't work, then you go plan B. Okay, what has happened to this piece? All right, so I just literally just put a little bit on. If you put a ton on too, that's totally fine. It'll harden, it'll disappear. And then we just wipe it on our tracts. And we get, like I'm gonna get on the edge in here, this and this edge. And you can see a little bit more. You can see the wood darken a little bit as it's drinking it in. So that's a good indication. And also, before you do this, you want to wipe down, do your cleaning, so you're not trapping dirt and gross stuff in with your oil. So because this is a 1930s piece, this track was actually varnished. So, but it's still going to dry out and everything from all the rubbing. So you got varnish, and then you got cracks in the varnish from the friction. So it's going to go on pretty easy, but it's going to fill in all those obnoxious little areas. You see how it's getting darker, or maybe you can't. I'm going to assume you can see. And just reapply as necessary. It's a lot easier when you're not trying to hold something up for the camera to see, but here, maybe. See how it's getting darker? That's good. And then we're not like globbing this on so much that we have to wait for our drawers to dry before we put them back in. I mean, it's worth doing just in case, although I've never had a dresser where the oil closed itself on me. So yeah, so I'm getting that little bit of wood that's going to go in that middle. I'm getting the top, I'm getting the sides, and I'm getting the bottom where that's going. And you can see the color change. And linseed does have a slight smell to it. It's not stinky, it's not, oh my god, I got a headache now. It just smells kind of like an oil, like a beard oil almost. It's not super offensive or anything. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it in so I can show you the difference. I know you can't feel it, but listen. No more squeak. It just swooshes. And I think you could see, like, before I was like, ugh. And now like I don't even have to think about it. It just comes out and goes right back in. So you just do that for all your drawers. If it does happen that it doesn't fix your problem, then you can look at your drawer, give it a good exam, make sure everything's flush where it's supposed to be. Look inside the carcass, make sure there wasn't like a glue block or something that's now in a place where it shouldn't. If it has been in a damp place, you want to give it at least a week to reacclimate, to not be so swollen. It won't unswell in 2 seconds. So I don't know, I always do this first, and then if that doesn't work, I play detective. But honestly, most of the time, I would say about 80%, this fixes the problem, no problem. So yeah, so that's my little trick for making antique and vintage drawers pull like they have metal tracks on them, and cheating the system a little bit. And it's a really quick, easy way. It's also something you can tell whoever buys your piece, like, you know, if it ever starts sticking again in like 5 years or so. I'm going on 5, that's why I say 5. You know, just give it a quick wipe, and that's your issue is totally gone. And then I say, like, don't use the wax, don't use the soap. It's a tempting thing. It's like an old wives' remedy, but it has some pretty stinky drawbacks that your customer is going to have to deal with down the road. So definitely use your oils. Just give it a quick wipe, and that's about it. So I hope I have helped you in reducing your headaches with dealing with finicky drawers and furniture that has a mind of its own. All right, so have fun. Bye.